Hi there, I'm Kylie Hodges, and you're watching AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On with Dan Wells and Kai Evans from NBC's new show Strong. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello guys, I'm Kylie Hodges and you're watching AFTERBUZZ TV's very special Spotlight On, and I am here with two trainers from NBC's new show called Strong. We've got Dan Wells and Kai Evans. Thank you guys so much for coming in the studio.
Great to see you.
Pleasure. How are you guys?
Good.
I'm so excited to talk to you guys today because you guys have a great energy, you're really dynamic, and I'm really interested to hear what was going on during the taping of the show Strong, and I want to hear all about it because it's a brand new show. But first, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Dan, you go first.
So I have a couple of CrossFit gyms here in Los Angeles. I grew up in Southern California. I competed in the CrossFit Games last year. Got about 400 clients here in the Southland. And I basically love training and I love competing.
Wow. And how about you, Kai?
I'm from Marina Del Rey, California. And I teach a very elite method called the Legree method. Okay. And it's all about truly just exposing truly who you are. I don't compete, I try to create, because you realize that you're already perfect. Why are you trying to change when you're already there? There's only one you, so what are you trying to change you for? You've already won. Wow. So everything I do is all about mixing ideas of ballet and expression with tension and neuromuscular ideas, and then we kind of shake it up. You fail and you go, when I fail, I succeed, because failing is the way to succeed. So here I am. I'm a fuck up that actually got lucky because he didn't believe in himself, and here I am sitting next to Dan Wells and you. And you're wearing
amazing.
So as you can see, the 10 trainers on the show come from a variety of backgrounds and disciplines.
So tell me a little bit.
We're actually more alike than you would imagine compared to the 10 on the show. We're
really?
Actually, we like get along better than anybody else.
Wow. And did you guys know each other before the show?
Nope. We met through the show.
Wow.
Well, actually, we knew of each other.
Were you like enemies through rumors beforehand, and then you meet and you become best buds?
You know, yin and yang. I'm all about non-impact flow. You know, CrossFit's a very aggressive system, so I think we're kind of yin and yang, but very much respecting each other's craft, if you will.
Very
and
cool.
Voice.
If
you will.
I think after this, AFTERBUZZ is going to ask you to become the new cold open voiceover for us, because your voice is incredible.
Well, this is 40 classes a week, 550 clients a week at 4 different gyms across this LA.
That's what training has done to you, screaming at people to go faster and harder?
Inspiring and guiding.
You're right.
I don't scream. We're not in a war. It's called life.
I love that. I love that. I think I want you to be my trainer.
There's a reason why he's sold out 3 months in advance for a Pilates class. The guy is impossible to get in, and it's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the show. Since it is a new show, a lot of people listening probably aren't fully aware of the concept of it.
Well, so the best way to think about it is like Dancing with the Stars. With Dancing with the Stars, you've got 10 weeks of competition, 1 week, and each week someone is eliminated. Okay? With this, you've got 10 of the professional fitness folks, matched up with 10 sort of trainees. Mm-hmm. And each week, they try to get better at their craft. And that's going to be looking good, feeling good, mentally, physically, and then competing in competitions. And each week, one's going to get eliminated and sent home. And your goal is to be the last man standing at the end of the show with you and your trainee. Now,
is there a cash prize or anything for the winners?
Yeah, it's like $500,000.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hefty chunk of change. And then do you get to split it with the person you're training? Or is it like each person gets money? Or
yeah, you split it.
And then you get to kiss your muscles and be like, I just won NBC Strong. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so, and it's 10 women competitors, correct?
Yeah.
And all the trainers are male.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you say that there's something, is there a different way to train a woman as opposed to training a man? Like, and why would there be male trainers training only women?
Well, you take that one.
Well, I had nothing to do with the pick of the trainers.
Sure.
That's, the powers that be above us. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think, everyone knows the female athlete has a way higher pain threshold than a man. We're a bunch of wusses compared to women. I mean, shit, you guys give birth and everything, and that's some pain I don't ever want to deal with. So you guys are the real deal. I mean, you guys carry the weight. You're the real deal. You lead this world. I mean, without you guys, what would we be? A bunch of guys just trying to duke it out. Hey, come on.
This is a very inspirational interview
I'm being
right
straight
now.
with you. I'm being straight
feeling real
up.
good about
You
being
know,
a woman right
my
now.
clientele is 95% women because those are the people that really are the ones changing the world, man. You give life, you change the world, you do all that stuff that nobody wants to do. So you deserve to find yourself, your strength, or be strong. So I think, teaming up with 10 elite master trainers that have different modalities or ideas of expressing the human body, then we get these amazing women that want to understand truly how great they are. You put us in a shaker, you shake us all up, and all of a sudden you throw us in this thing called a tower, and you say, go. Well, here we go, right? And I think it becomes an amazing journey. And the biggest thing for me was like, the industry of the fitness profession is so look at me. And I think the biggest thing that this show wants to show people is strength comes in many different ways. Not body fat, not 1 rep maxes, not all these things. I won a Super Bowl. Wow, I must be better than you. My whole journey is about showing the world that we're all equal. Ain't no bullies, we got 2 arms, we got 2 legs, and you got to own you. And that's the scariest thing. So this show shows you that strength is about owning who you are. Whether you lose and you get back up, or whether you get the money, or whether you climb the tower, you don't make it through the tower, or whatever these things are, they're all metaphors that, you are already there. You're strong, man. You know what I mean? And winning something, the result is not the game, it's the process. And if you're always in process, you're always creating more opportunities for yourself.
This is like so inspirational. I'm just going to let you guys keep telling me about things. Can you tell me a little bit about behind the scenes of the show? You said all the trainers were different, but you guys get along the most. Can you try and walk me through what some of the other trainers were like?
Go ahead, buddy.
No, why are you doing that? No, he wants me to start talking the trash. And he
doesn't want to be the bad guy?
Listen, all these guys were incredible. Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about the 10 guys who's really the best at what they do. You got a boxer, right? You got a lifter. You got a CrossFitter. You got a runner. You got a football coach. You got a pro strength conditioning like God. You got all these different ideas coming together and all trying to, make it work. And when you're at the top of your game at what you do, I'm trying to, show off what I can do. They're trying. You kind of get to know your way's better. No, my way's better. And all of a sudden things start to go a little haywire a little bit.
But the cool thing is that at a certain point, you, as a trainer, you can't do this alone, and you see a lot of vulnerability start to come out of the men. Really? And they become stronger because of these women, because of the fortitude of these women. And it's a beautiful sort of give and take process where each team develops separately, and it wouldn't, if it weren't for the women, these guys would never be able to do what they do. Yeah.
Make no mistake. Like I was saying, I agree with it. It's it's that Obi-Wan thing, right? A truly great trainer and or teacher and or guru, whatever these words, whatever they mean, is the one who disappears into their student, right? When the student surpasses the teacher, we've done our job. But, in society, the trainer is supposed to be, I'm a trainer, look at me, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, no, don't even look at me, man. I got this stupid little bun here. I got this little Johnny Depp thing. I don't know what's going on. Look at you. What can I get you to do? And when especially my training, man, she taught me so much about me, because there were things that I've never done before, and I'm sure Dan can relate, that I was like, I can't, well, I thought I was going to get you to do that. I got to do that? Like, what, me? What you talking about, Willis? Right? Like, and she would just look in my eyes, and her eyes would well up, and I'd have to just find it. And so when the teacher becomes the student, it is the greatest gift that a teacher can get. And I think that happened to all of us at some level, right, Dan?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, how long was the filming process for this show? Oh, boy.
It was like 10 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was it every single day, like 12-hour days?
Every day, pressure
me through.
cooker. Yeah, it's just, when the pressure's just on all the time, and you've got this risk and this fear of losing, because this man, given enough time, can do an amazing, any of us, given a few weeks, we can do amazing things. But in 3 days, you can only do so much. Mm-hmm. So your neck is on the line all the time, and that pressure, that constant fear of being eliminated from what you're capable of doing, really takes it out of you. And,
That's a mental
it's
thing,
brutal.
Sure.
And when you've got that kind of pressure, it gets pretty gnarly out there.
So were you doing the competitions every 3 days to save your spot in the show?
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you get sent to the tower or not.
Yeah.
If you get sent to the tower, then you're doing sometimes 3 in 1 week. 3 competitions in a week.
Wow.
So you're trying to train to lose fat, gain muscle, gain mental strength and stamina, and all of a sudden, bam, you're thrown right back into another competition.
Right.
Plus you've got to eat well and everything else.
And you're competing alongside the person you're training, correct? So you're given 50%.
You can't go any faster than your partner.
Wow. What was the biggest struggle for you guys as trainers on the show?
I mean, I think like life, there were challenges at every end. I mean, that was the thing. You never got a chance to get your bearing. And I think when you're constantly put in a situation of constantly having to get back up and you're getting pushed, that's when the soul's exposed, or truly who you are. Not the ideas of who you think you are. Like you read the magazine, I'm gonna be like him or like her, I'm gonna look like that, or this is the fad diet, or this is the fad workout, I'm gonna try that. Then you get pissed when it doesn't work. Why didn't it work for me? Because you try not to be you, right? So we were challenged. I mean, like Dan was saying earlier, we had to do the meals, we had to do the training, the coaching, we had to compete with them. And it was a constant state of also recovery constantly. If we pushed them too hard, they couldn't compete. If we didn't push them hard enough, they didn't lose enough weight. So it was a constant balancing act of understanding self and communicating. I think the greatest gift of this show wasn't about the transformation or even the competitions or even the winning and losing. It was learning how to communicate with a complete stranger. With all this internet stuff and all this stuff we hide behind, texting and all this, we had to look them in the eyes and we had to go, okay, I'm here for you. I don't know you. You don't know me. You may not like me, but guess what? I'm in this with you.
I was mesmerized by his stare right there. I was like, all right, let's do this. Oh wait, what are we doing?
I had to hold back pretty significantly to not hug him just there.
He was rubbing his knee against me.
Yeah, I was it's almost reached down underneath the table.
Now, you guys, before we started the interview, you guys were telling me that you guys were caught off guard by some of the expectations of being a trainer on the show. And that you had to cook.
When we signed up for this, it's like, all right, so you've got to train someone. Cool, I've been doing that for well over a decade, and you've got to compete alongside them. Yeah. Great, no problem. I can't go any faster than them. Of course I can handle that. Yeah. But then you find out, oh, and by the way, we're going to provide you with a grocery list, and you need to cook every single meal for your trainee.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a decent cook, but I just get it done. I mean, I know I need calories in so that I can expend calories, but it doesn't get very gourmet on my plate very often. And then you have this risk of other teams having the power to eliminate you and put you on the chopping block, and you're like, whoa, wait, what? So it's like this survivor mentality too. Yeah. It's just constant pressure. You're just always off balance. You never get to like sit down and take a breath.
That was the hardest part, was like the gaming. We're in the business of truth, right? If you trust me, you can. And now we're going, hey, brother, I love you. And then next day, you're going to the tower. What? You just told me I was safe. And backstage, you're whispering in my ear. People were playing games, and, you have to, then the guard has to go up. And then you got to start strategizing what team has the best, and that was hard for me because I am not that guy. I don't manipulate things. I just kind of throw it out there and see what happens, and that was really hard. I know there were a lot of pressure situations where he's going to put her in. She's the best athlete. And that was like, oh, my God. Boy. I feel like I'm in high school, and it's like clicking, and I'm the band geek, and the jocks are teaming up on me, and I can't take it anymore.
That sounds exhausting.
It was really mentally exhausting.
Now, if there was such thing as a typical day on set, can you walk me through what it was like?
There was never a typical day.
Yeah, no. I mean, without the you're just always taking care of everything. That you're just always on. I don't know. How do you? It's just constant. It's just so constant.
Well, it sounds like that your trainee was 100% dependent on you.
Each other. Let's be real. Like, we needed them. Yeah. If they weren't losing weight and performing better, we lose. Yeah. So, it was, again, it's that, this is what we lost in society, is just trusting a stranger, just believing in another person that you've never met, instead of going, oh, she's good, look at her, she doesn't have any muscle, she can't be strong. Well, yeah, maybe she's really strong, like Bruce Lee shit. You don't know. You don't know what I can do. This could be Jan says, just for show. Mine's just for show, man. It looks good. I don't want to lift that bar. I don't want to do that. I want to look good and feel good on me, So, it's that whole thing of you can't judge, and you can't push them too hard, or you break them, and you got to realize that you got to just trust. I mean, the show really is built in my opinion, is in trust, and trusting a stranger, and learning that, guys, we're all in this together, and we're all strong. Forget about the Super Bowl rings and the championships and the gold medals. At the end of the day, man, getting up every day and just living your life, that's strength. And I think this show is the first show of its kind that really shows that if you look deeper than just the guys with the muscles and the girls sort of screaming and yelling and going for it, like it's so much deeper. And this is why I think the show is such a huge deal and really important to society is guys, look below the muscles and the women and see that, yo, man, strength is not about what you can do. It's what you believe in you about, what you are.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing is being in this sort of fishbowl, where you can't be distracted by, happy hour on a Thursday night.
There was one time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, except for that one time. And so to be able to have complete control, and then to really get to know someone. I mean, you get to know your clients, but to really get to know them. What was it like in childhood when they went through that horrific experience that they'll never forget? How does that impact them today? What happened in college that has it's to this day affecting the way that people are motivated. To learn about Mahogany, who's the girl that I was with, and find out truly what makes her tick was a real luxury because we don't have time for it now. There's just too many moving parts. There's Twitter and Instagram and 400 clients at the gym, and you don't have time for that. But being put into this and to really get to know someone and use that to motivate and bring out the best in that person is a beautiful thing. And I think by witnessing that as an audience, we get to see what's possible in the human being. That's one of my favorite things about the entire show.
And then the flip side to what Dan just said is like my partner Brittany, who's just an inspiration to me. We butted heads because she was very like fight strong, lift weights, go, and I'm flowing, and I don't use weights. I use this machine called the Megaformer, which is the most unique training apparatus on the planet. And she's like, they're doing this, why aren't we doing that? I said, don't worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about it. I got you. And we would butt heads. So how do you deal with someone who at the beginning you don't click with? But you have to work with them. It's a great lesson in life. You're not going to like everybody, but find something that you can connect with, and it'll grow. Like, then you can start to fall in love with anybody. You find one thing. It doesn't have to be all of them, but one thing. So me and Brittany had it's really, like, we would go like this because I was like talking about poetry and art and expression, and all the other guys going, bigger, heavier, stronger, faster. And I'm like, flow, express, Shakespeare, to be or not to be. And she's looking at me like, what you talking about? I'm like, just trust me. So the show shows that too. You got the guys that click instantly, and then you got the people that weren't clicking. And then they clicked as they started to really start to find each other, because my job, one of the things with her was to soften her a little bit. Like she always was fighting, and I'm like, if you look for a fight, you're always going to get one. So find your flow. Yeah, I love your intensity. I love that you want it, but also pull back. Let them come to you, right? So there's a lot of different ways that we can all work together. So it shows all this. It's incredible. David Broom is incredible. Like Sylvester Stallone, it's incredible. It's incredible. That's why I think we signed on, because it was the most amazing concept and idea.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys about. Sylvester Stallone was an executive producer of the show. Did you guys get to interact with him at all, or was he 100% behind the scenes?
He had minimal interaction with us, but he was clearly behind the scenes. He was involved in putting together the apparatuses and the different challenges and the entire... And he worked hand in hand with Dave Broom. You grow up and you watch these movies like Rocky and Over the Top and freaking Rambo, and you imagine that this guy must be just such a stud. Yeah. But then you actually, to witness the fact that this man is 100% invested in this show and in every aspect of it, and that he takes so much pride in this alongside Dave Broom, who's maybe one of the greatest reality show creators of all time.
He created Biggest Loser.
Yeah. And now this. And this is already going to other countries. I mean, it's going to be in Mexico. You're going to have to be the voiceover. Tonight on NBC, Fuerte. Andale. Yeah, I mean, but this show's already going to all the other countries. It's incredible. Yeah. But Sylvester Stallone is all in. There is not a 99% version of that man. Wow. It's unbelievable.
And let's not forget the thing that really, when I heard that Mr. Stallone was doing the show, is that he's an artist. He wrote Rocky. Yeah. He's not a musclehead. He realized that creativity comes from the ultimate piece of art, your body. So he got in shape to make himself more creative, and look at the career he created. Right? So that was when I knew, when he was doing it too, I knew that, man, this is an artist. And this is a guy who understands that by using the body, you create more in the mind, and the spirit sets free, and all of a sudden, you don't care what you look like. You just become, right? Like, and it's incredible if you watch Rocky 1 and Rocky 4. Look at his physically what he looks like, you know, and his body of work has changed, his artistry, his expression, his writing, his producing, his directing, and David Broom, what he's done to helping people. Like, so again, it all comes back to art and owning who you are, and that's what strong is. So it was incredible. It was. I'm
loving this. You guys are like, I feel like my gurus for the day. Like, I wish I could just bundle up all this wisdom that you're saying and put it in a little book.
The beautiful thing about the framework they created for us is that it brings out authenticity in each and every one of us. And there's nothing, you can't stop watching when you see a person being truly authentic under pressure.
And when someone loses it, right? Someone who's not,
they do.
It's not in their character, and they go, because, you know, competition sometimes brings out the worst in us, and that's not who we are, right? How many times you said something to a loved one that you don't mean, but you said it because you were so lit up, right? So you still see that too. Real people, guys who say things or do things that they don't mean, but because of that situation, we haven't slept for 3 days or whatever it is, you say something or do something, and then you go, oh boy, but that's life. Now, are you man enough or are you strong enough to apologize?
Ooh.
Vulnerability.
Is that the tagline of the show?
Vulnerability.
Should be.
Yeah.
Vulnerability, our greatest strength.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I love that. I love talking with you guys today. Thank you so much for coming into the studio. I wish we could talk all day, but that's all the time we have. Can you tell everybody when they can catch the show? Strong.
Yep. So the show's going to premiere a Wednesday right after The Voice on NBC, and then it's going to continue Thursday nights at 8 o'clock on NBC.
Binge on Strong.
And if people want to find you too on social media, Kai, where can people find you?
The Real Kai Evans, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Real Kai Evans.
How about you, Dan?
And just Dan Wells on Twitter, and then it's official Dan Wells on Instagram.
Let me say it. Official Dan Wells on Instagram.
Sounds way more official when it comes from Kai. Thank you guys again for coming in the studio. I loved it. I'm Kylie Hodges, and you can follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges, and be sure to catch Strong on NBC April 13th after The Voice. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
That one, yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.